Josh, so this is a trip. I noticed this, like, when I would get up to like a year, right? Or before, but of semen retention, man, I could love like any girl, any woman, didn't matter. Teenager, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, like that. I don't know, like I was so, you see, because when you're not doing the whole dopamine hit, looking at the porn and things like that, see, that desensitizes the hell out of you. You get to where you could have a super good looking girl, young, whatever your taste is, want to have sex with you, and if you're deep into PMO, you're not even going to want to do it. Imagine. We're so desensitized that, like, our natural biological function doesn't even function anymore. There's a guy who was, he got to the point where the only way he could get aroused was if he was gay, was if a guy had a gun to his head and was acting out like that, you know. There was a girl in LA that was writing. She wrote and said, it's amazing with this addiction, the depths it can go to. She would go out at night into some bad part of the area, bad, town or something. I don't know, I forgot where, Watts or Compton or something. And she'd walk around in like a mini skirt and just dress real provocative. And then guys would take her in some alley and like rough her up. Fortunately, it didn't kill her. But ironically, she said like that was the best orgasm I ever had, though. You see, you get to that level where you can't only not have sex anymore, you're not interested. Even, I needed to say that the other way. Like when I was younger, like 13 or something, like I remember just a girl touching, just a nice sensual touch. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Well, you can get to where that's like nothing. You can't even have sex anymore, let alone, enjoy some sensuality. So semen retention will cure that. And you'll get back to where like, you're like, whoa, yeah. I'm sure some have experienced that and are experiencing that. Let me know. That's a nice state to be in. It's like then you don't discriminate anymore. Like, oh, she's fine, she's not, all this nonsense. You somehow are able to penetrate into the female essence. You're enjoying that. When you're enjoying that, all of a sudden they look different. They look attractive, and like your subtle perception transforms their physical attraction. What do they say? The eyes and the beauties in the eye of the beholder. That's what it is. That's what that means. For whatever reason, two beings meet in one. They just love this person, and maybe they'll try to tell their friends. They're like, man, she or he is just, do you see how beautiful they are? And their friend's like, yeah, I mean, they're all right, but you see, because Cupid didn't shoot them, shot her. So then when you're on semen retention, like Cupid's shooting you all over the place, like, whoa. And so now the danger to that, though, see, there's always duality, because life would be boring if there wasn't. You could get to where you just want to have sex all the time. So you can go from not even wanting to have sex with a girl because you're so deep into PMO and you've destroyed your adrenal glands and nervous system to where you can't get aroused anymore. You can go from that stage, you can start to rebuild your nervous system via semen retention and get to where you're like, you can have sex with anybody. Doesn't matter, age, anything. And so then that that has its own dangers. So we gotta work this process. It's why this is a big deal. Semen retention is no joke. People don't know the process and the evolution that this whole thing's going to go through, and it's a great evolution. somebody left a comment saying, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing, like there's nothing like this, basically. There's no tool, or there's no thing this is the highest so-called tool. And yeah, I second that. That's why I make videos on it, because I know, you know. Now, self-realization, spiritual practice, that's the only thing I feel is higher than this. But see, this is necessary to get to that. You can't be doing PMO and now you're going to go meditate. Oh, I'm in such bliss. Can't do that. I tried. Don't work. You just look stupid and fake. And I've seen I know who's losing their energy. You know, you get to where you just know. Why? Because you've went through it yourself. You know the stages. You know the look, the eyes. You know the vibe. And I would see these guys. They're wearing their yoga uniform, and they're talking to a girl, of course. But there's no ojas. They're dead. They're dead. And somehow when I'm looking at them, I remember one. I'm not trying to mess with them, but I just noticed them. Because I know how this is. I don't judge anything, man. Like, I went through this too. That's the thing. I was in Bali teaching yoga, and I still hadn't transcended this thing. I wasn't losing my semen, but I was still edging. That can still take your energy. And I'd go edge, all night, and then I'd come back in the morning, put my yoga clothes on, and have my yoga student, and just all that stuff. So we got to go through that. But I remember when I was looking at him, he just happened to look at me. And it's like subconsciously, he probably couldn't articulate it, but subconsciously he knew that I could see him. He got called out. I didn't mean to. But I mean, he could, because it's like he saw a higher version of himself in the mirror. See, we're all mirrors. And somehow that reminded him, like, damn, like I need to stop doing what I'm doing. But I'm sure he didn't process it like that. But that was the feeling. That was the subtle communication energetically that took place between us. I could see that because I was on semen retention. So that's next level stuff. When your sexual appetite has got revamped, and now you're full on again. That's why a lot of people get in relationships or get married. It's just so they can have sex, because they don't want to have casual sex because of a concept they have, or maybe they're in a 12-step program and they say you shouldn't have sex unless you're married, or a religion or what have you. That has its merit. I mean, it has its place for that, sure. The problem is, though, we can get into a compromising situation and get into a relationship just because of that, and then we start, once we have sex and get fulfilled on that level, all of a sudden now the relationship's not so important anymore, and then people can get hurt, and they can be drama. Yeah, man, I'm glad I got it. I came out of all these. I've only had a few relationships in my life, but they were they were so good I don't need to have anymore. But I'm glad I got out unscathed, because I used to speak in prisons and jails about drugs, or recovering from addictions and stuff. And man, there's so many people in there because of a relationship failure, and what goes down sometimes after that. And they didn't mean to do it, like just in the moment, and you know what happens. So careful. I'd love being not in a relationship today. Can't say I'm alone. That doesn't feel right, because I'm married inside with something. This is what I want everybody to find. So what do you do then? Like, what do you do when you're like overzealous about wanting to have sex, and what do you do? Well, look, I'm not saying anything, okay? I'm just saying like that. So when I was in Bali, see, I didn't want a relationship. because of the reasons I just explained. I didn't want the drama. I didn't want to set a girl up into thinking that I wanted to be with her and stuff, because I didn't, and I knew that. Thank God. I had enough introspection to where I knew that. I just wanted the sex. So what did I do? I just went and paid for it. But I was in Asia and South America a little, but I got it out of my system that way, because it was a lesser consequence, basically, because she didn't get hurt. I got to experience, because I didn't have a lot of sex growing up, so there was a desire and tendency there to experience that, and I had to do that. Otherwise, this semen retention wouldn't reach its full, evolution, because I would have those desires in there somewhere, and they're like activating me and making me edge and stuff like that. So, to each his own. Like, you got to work through this stuff. I call it paradoxical sadhana, or spiritual practice. Sometimes we gotta go do something that's not so spiritual, so that we can later become spiritual. This is how I just got to be honest. I can't like play around. I can't tell you something that I didn't do myself. I can't say like, yeah, I just made up my mind to not do this anymore, and get rid of that sexual desire. Get out. See, I can't say that. I had to go experience this stuff to get it out. Now, I didn't have these videos though. You see, I don't know. If I had these videos, I'm watching the videos, would that have accelerated this whole transcendent process? Who knows? I don't know. That would just be speculation if I said it would. So I don't know. Make freedom your most important thing. All right? And then you'll be fine. You want to be free. Even if you do something that's so-called, somewhere it's not the best thing to do. If your motive for doing that is to be free, this is what matters the most. That's why I felt okay about it when I would do certain things that weren't, so-called spiritually acceptable in the eyes of other people. Now, there's some higher beings, teachers. I had one in India who understood this process. And sometimes if the desire's too strong, you got to go experience it so you don't have to do it anymore. And then once you experience it, and then the mind says, well, because the tendency will still come to do it again, at least you have some reference. You say, wait, I've already done that. Like I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn a video on instead. I'm caught up in some negative habit. I need to like not do that. I've already done it. Like, why am I going to do it again? You see? And so then you get some support and inspiration via videos or these 12-step meetings that I keep sharing about, and you get the support of the fellowship. All right, good. Have a good day.